revolution. He had some pots and pans. No, it didn't happen.
No, it did happen, but I saw Brian Bellow get the pots and pans out.
Evil dick.
Because we know that he watches BBUK, and he's seen. But you know that the best way to use the pots and pans is to use them first thing, like 3 o'clock in the morning, to wake everyone up.
Yeah.
But he got the pots and pans out, and they started clattering them around everyone.
Yeah.
And I think we did see Christian doing the pots and pans thing, but I think that was edited in at a later date.
Christian
MJC.
What a prick.
Has he got his Bible with him?
And then Brian said he's had 2 birds toss him off at the same time.
Fair dues.
Do you think that was Sam and Amanda or
what? For his sake, I hope so. I never thought of that, but that's a good one.
That's horrible. I wish I hadn't said that.
Oh, good.
So then we had the infamous food fight / pillow fight in the story.
But hang on, it was about people sleeping during the day, which we know
is that how it started?
Yeah, it's a Big Brother staple, and then Big Brother gets the arsehole and says, "Oh, can you bring all the cushions, basically anything you can sleep on, bring it in the pantry or whatever it's called." But
I thought, why do they care about people sleeping in the day? There's no live feed anyway. Let the fuckers sleep.
No, but Mark was going. Who was lying down? It was Nick and Harry sleeping on the sofas that were the main. Got the main heat for it. Mm-hmm. And Mark said, "You fuckers, it's your fault. It's mostly your fault anyway. So get on with it."
Right.
So they had to take everything into the store cupboard.
Yeah.
And then...
How did the food fight start? I can't remember now.
No, they had all the...
they just piled onto the pillows, didn't they?
Yeah, the Giovese and the cushions. And just proximity of that much flour, Weetabix, Oatabix, Fruit Loops. It was just an accident waiting to happen.
So where did it cross the line from good, clean fun to... I know where.
Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
Right, so
I already know anyway.
The food fight develops, and I'll tell you what happened. Nikki Graham ended up nearly hospitalised over this. Now, she said it was because Jack Joe was on top of her and she couldn't breathe. Now, wait a minute. We know from last season, there's a blind spot. There's a blind spot in that... There's a blind spot in the store cupboard because Mark and Christopher got off last year and you couldn't see it. They didn't have the footage of it because they couldn't capture it. And again, if we had that camera, this would have caught this alleged Nikki Graham suffocating incident. So then, anyway, so the narrative is that Jack Joe squeezed Nikki Graham to death with his weight, and she goes in the deal. What happens then?
Hold on. First, you're jumping ahead. First, we were trying to work out how many Jack Joes make one Nikki... No, how many Nikki Grahams is one Jack Joe?
I said 4. 4 Nikki Grahams make one Jack Joe.
I think 3, but it could be 4.
It's at least 3.5.
So, what went up her nose? Washing powder.
No, on her head. Here on the head.
No, she said it went up her nose or something.
Everything goes up her nose.
You would think they were throwing around anthrax the way she reacted.
I did see something strike her in the head. And you know when a child, like a toddler, when it falls over, it will like fall over. It'll still be smiling. And then, like, about 3 seconds later... About 3 seconds later, it'll start crying.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
So,
but Sam said she got concussion from a box of tampons. So basically, Nikki went in the diary.
What were they, like metal cased?
Must have been maxi muscle tampons. So then Nikki went in the diary and they were all laughing. Christian MJC was like having the time of his life. Harry and Nick, meanwhile, were having a snog outside the room, but whatever. So then Nikki went in the... She was like, "Get out, everyone!" She started screaming like a banshee at everyone, didn't she?
I think fuck off were her exact words.
And Big Brother's like, "Can Brian stay with you?" "Yeah, Brian can stay with me." And then Jack said, "Don't forget the pastry."
That's when they had to evacuate the store cupboard, isn't it? And he was worried about his goodies.
And Brian was going to Nikki, "Oh yeah, I could see you were getting distressed and all this." It's quite sweet the way Brian was with her.
I think so too.
He was nice.
And also it brings up the whole thing about how Nikki basically was Team Evil and then kind of had to defect to the good side.
Mm-hmm.
if such a thing exists.
And so then Nikki stayed in the spare bedroom for the night.
Who knew that Big Brother had a spare bedroom?
I know.
If I'd known that, I would have been like every day going to the DL going, you know what, that spare bedroom, I think I want it tonight.
But Brian stayed in there one night when it was the bunker.
Oh yeah, and but also he slept on the lounge and he got his duvet.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. So the next day, Helen's like, "Oh, Nikki's had a panic attack."
No, she used air quotes as well. Panic attack.
Yeah, to get out of cleaning up all the aftermath, basically.
But she said, when she first went in, she was like, I'm only here for 3 days, so there's no point cleaning up. Now she's got to find new excuses.
Yeah, but she's still finding them, so respect her. So then, this is when Brian starts to get really rolled up with Helen. He goes, "She ain't a normal bird with a big mouth, she's evil." So then Mark said about Nikki, "You should never meet your heroes." I thought Mark didn't even know who Nikki was. When did she become a hero of his?
This is too deep.
It's too deep. Right.
But no, you're right. It's like he said, no, but I think, who said you shouldn't meet your heroes first of all? Was it Mark? I can't remember. But
is it like Andy Warhol or something?
But it's like, you're right, he said you shouldn't meet your heroes, I feel disappointed in you. And then, but he doesn't even know who she is, as do not most people know who anyone is. Who is she? I know who she is. You know who she is. He doesn't. But then again, if you're watching from outside the UK, i.e. Ireland, Ireland as we call it, then that is abroad, isn't it? So
now Helen said, "I've made an effort to be friendly with people."
Yeah. Can you not do that, Helen, better?
No, go on.
Yeah. I made an effort with all of yous.
She's made an effort. What more can she do?
I've done my best now. Fuck off.
Now this is when it proper kicked off. Helen was going to Brian, "Look at the aggression in your face." And then Brian did look mad. He looked pissed, didn't he? But she had driven him to it. She drove him to it.
No, but hang on. You can't say that someone drove someone to something, because
she made Danny attack the pizza boxes.
Listen, if you're in big...
push the button.
Imagine you're just an average Joe. You got an average job. Maybe you work at McDonald's or whatever. And then suddenly you're in Big Brother, and you go through all the process, and then you're in with Helen Wood. What are you going to think? You're going to think... If Helen Wood says, "Oh, like your dad's a pedo," or whatever the sort of things that she comes out with, are you really going to let that get to you?
Yes, everyone does.
Nah.
Everyone does.
You know what? If you fall for that, you must be stupid, because
you would fall for it. Anyone would.
No, do you know?
Yeah, you would.
I wouldn't, because it's not worth it. She's like Nikki White. It's like rent a gob. She'll just say anything for a bit of airtime, and it works every time. She's a fucking divhole.
So then Brian said, "You called Nikki a weirdo, and do you even know what Nikki's history is?" And I thought that was really sweet, because basically, probably everyone knows, but basically Nikki used to be anorexic. Well, she still looks anorexic to me, but and she's
that's not all he said though. He said that she had things from her childhood.
She has. She's got like bad OCD. You know, like all her little tantrums are basically related to her having issues, basically. And I thought that was really moving when Brian said that. That was actually. That wasn't game. That wasn't someone playing the game and trying to journey. That was actually from his heart that he said that and stuck up for Nikki. And considering the way Nikki had treated Brian, she hadn't been looking after Brian that much.
No, she hadn't.
And Brian really looked after her. Brian basically walked out of Nikki's honour in a way.
No, I wouldn't say that.
In a way, though. And I just thought that was really, really nice. But then it kicked off. He called Helen pond scum.
Now, how rude is that? I say it's not as rude as cum buckets or slut buckets. Pond scum. It's pretty. To call someone that is pretty low, though.
Well, it got worse than that. He said, "You've got no principles, morals, or self-respect. It's like you just walked out of a dustbin." Was she Oscar the Grouch? Helen said, "There's a straitjacket for you in the storeroom, you psycho."
Now, does that go against mental health charity guidelines.
Well, she already was making fun of Nikki for having a panic attack, and then she said that. She's always calling people like a nutter or a weirdo or fat cunt or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
On any other show in the world, if you carried on like that, like if you watch Coronation Street, when they had to do a storyline about someone going, well, nuts, then, you know, they had to speak to the charity involved in it and make sure the message is on point and this, that and the other. Big Brother... Not quite so...
It's a good point.
It is a good point.
Yeah, because we've got, it's time ticks by, blah, 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 blah.
Please excuse our mocking of the mentally deranged.
Yeah, the mentally ill. Brian went on to say, I feel so sorry for you. You have to be you when you get out of here, which is a very good point. I've said that too. You've got fucking trash of a persona.
But hang on. Can we not get to what Helen called Brian?
Yeah, I'm getting to it.
Come on then.
Helen said, keep playing into my hands, which says it all about her. She knew exactly what she was doing.
So at this point, she was warning.
Yeah.
She was warning Brian.
She beckoned him with her fingers
like
and said,
a banshee.
Keep playing into my hands.
And Brian did not listen.
She was getting off on it. You could see her virtually fucking getting wet at the sight of how much she was annoying him, because that's the sort of sick fuck she is.
Yeah, I'm getting wet now.
You could. And then she goes, look at you. You look like a rapist. And then, as if to mitigate the word rapist, she said, well, murderer/rapist. Does that would that make you feel better about being called a rapist if someone said murderer/rapist?
I think if I was in that situation where Helen Wood was saying that to me personally, I think, you know what, it's like beyond offence. You'd be so offended, you'd actually calm down and think, you know what, actually this is not real. I'm just gonna like take 10 minutes and do you know?
I know what you mean.
It's so
horrible.
It's so fast.
Almost,
it's so farcical.
Yeah.
It's like you know what I mean, like.
And at this point, Jack Joe stood up and went, "Whoa there!" Even he stood up and got involved.
My hero.
Yeah. And then but that was absolutely disgusting, calling him that. And it just makes me think, and I know it's pathetic, it's like moaning about live feed or something, but why exactly did Aaron get thrown out again? He didn't do anything malicious.
It was physical contact. That was the problem. It was physical contact.
Well, I see Mark ass raping Danny virtually.
But Danny liked it.
Well,
just
you could argue Joel liked it.
That's what I missed out from my notes, was that Joel done a Katy Perry impression.
Oh, yeah.
They had a disco for some reason, God knows why, probably something awful happened in the middle of it.
Probably.
And they started playing Katy Perry.
Yeah.
And when he was dancing along to it was like watching Glee times a zillion. Like, he was so queer, it was frightening.
He is completely queer. I'm not allowed to say queer, though. Only you are.
Well, look, he is queer.
Yeah, he is.
But bless him.
Bless him. So then, yes. So basically, if you were Brian and you're in there, you're a series winner, a Big Brother legend, allegedly, and you go in there and you get called a rapist/murderer for no apparent reason.
And Big Brother,
a freak, a weirdo.
Nothing...
Big Brother did absolutely nothing.
No, but they give her a warning afterwards, but not prior to what happened. But the thing is, do you not think Brian Bellow should have taken that better?
No, I do not. Being called a fucking... And do you know what else pissed me off? Chloe going, we can't take sides. She just called him a rapist/murderer, and you're going to sit there not taking sides. What are you, fucking Jermaine Jackson?
But do you know something? What you said about Chloe?
Yeah.
You're right, she sat on the fence right through that and said that Helen's only ever been good to me, which is quite a good move on Helen's part. Mm-hmm. But also, when Sam was talking about Mark earlier, about you're as fit as a potato chip packet of crisps, she was saying that's wrong, you shouldn't allow that sort of talk. So she'll allow one sort of abuse, but she'll look the other way for another. And I don't like that about her. She's nasty.
I don't like anything about her. She's a fucking fence-sitting bitch. And then Nikki was going, Mark's going to be in trouble when we go. And you're right. And you said Mark started trying to jury manage basically a bit too late.
Mark's
fucked.
No, but hang on. You're right, because people don't understand. British people don't understand jury management. Jury management is when in BBUK, they have a jury, and basically they vote on who wins and who loses out of the final two. So you have to basically arse lick your jury as they're on the way out, as you vote them out.
As you stab them in the back.
You can bullshit them. There's all sorts of things you can do to like kind of negotiate your way out of that situation. It's about having people on your side. Mark, we can see, as you said, his game is fucked, but he's already trying to kind of placate certain original housemates to try and curry favour, so he's got at least some kind of